Good morning, my lovelies. Happy Wednesday. Happy scoping out. Normally, I am here talking to you about my foibles and my obstacles, the ways that I get in my own way and the ways that I get myself back out of my own way. And today, actually, I am basing today's topic off of some feedback I got from some of you guys, you gals in particular. I actually have not ever heard of a man complaining about this. Not to say that you don't or that you don't have this obstacle, but this certainly seems unique to females, and I feel like there's some really good reasons to that. We're going to talk about that in a minute, but the phenomenon is this. You bust your ass in life to get to a certain point where you have some certain things, right? You have a roof over your head, you've got food in your belly, things are calm, your kids are healthy, and you feel like you should sort of be in a no news is good news kind of place, like, oh yay, I have arrived, I've accomplished things in my life, and feel really grateful and not ask for anything more. And what happens instead is that we get to this steady state, and then our brains start going, what else is possible? What if I started that business? What if I turned that hobby of mine into a business? What if I did that world travel? What if I remodeled that room? What if I, right? Fill in the blank. And here comes my dog. I don't know what it is about me starting these recordings. My animals just love to come be a part of this. They say, hello, my lovelies, right back to you. And what happens in this phenomenon is that it's not a matter of ungratefulness, although a lot of people tend to feel and begin to wonder if that's what it is. Am I a complete and spoiled brat for wanting more out of my life? I worked so hard to get to a steady state. I worked so hard to get to this point. Why isn't this enough? Why can't I just be calm and happy and love my life right where it's at? Well, because that's not the way our psychology works. There's a little phenomenon. Ooh, are there tools on here? I think there's tools on here. Let me see if I can draw it. Oh no, they took it out. Oh, start sketching. Here, let's try this. There is a little phenomenon called, it's not even a phenomenon, it's just an explanation of our psychology called the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You can go look this up and get all the details. There's multiple levels, but really 4 main ones. And oh, there's my triangle. Oh gosh, it goes away really fast. So basically it's a big triangle with echelons, right? With tiers in the triangle. And at the very bottom of that triangle is survival stuff. The things that we've already talked about. Food, clothing, shelter, water, right? The bare bones basics we need to survive. And then in the middle, we start to see socialization things, belonging to a tribe, a sense of community, friendship, relationships, partnership, growth. And then at the very tippy top is this self-actualization piece. And that's where fulfillment comes in. Personal growth, deeper understanding of self, spirituality, identity, right? These things are up at that very, very tippy top. So if you think about most of our energy in our life goes into creating these bare bone basics. And then we want enriching relationships. And then we want an enriching relationship with ourselves. So you understand, according to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, one of these basic ideas about human development and psychology is that we actually are meant to go up. We're meant to continue to ask and reach and build into our lives. It is not natural for us to reach our bare bone basics and just go, okay, I'm good, I've arrived, I don't have to do anything else. It's not natural for us. And not only is it not natural, but it's not enriching to us. Our brains do more. Our brains want more. Our energy and our excitement wants more out of life. It does not make us a spoiled, rotten brat to try to reach for greater and greater heights in our life. And here's the interesting thing. I feel like the reason that I hear this more out of women than I do out of men is the way that our brains work. Remember I said we were going to talk about the way the female brain works. If you're catching this on the recording, I was lamenting this wrinkling back here and wondering why the hell did my brain start to focus on that. Women's brains process so much more at one time than men's brains do. For starters, we use more white matter, 10 times more white matter in our brains than men do. What that means is that white matter is emotional and sensory processing. So we're constantly like reaching out and feeling the energy of other people. We can't help it, right? And then you combine that with the extra density and neural activity that we have in our hippocampus that also deals with the processing of information as it comes in, especially on the emotional and sensory levels. And we retain those memories better. So we're constantly, not everybody's giving emotional meaning to their life. That's just the way it is. Women do it on multiple layers, in multiple directions, all at the same time, and it's constantly going on for us, which means that we can, at the same time that we're providing these survival mechanisms into our life, we are also thinking like a chess player 10 steps ahead. So when I get this, then I can build this, and then I can focus on this, and da-da-da-da-da-da, right? Like we're all the time. So when we get to that point, and we don't feel that sense of relaxation into the things that we have accomplished, because society tells us that should be enough, especially culturally for women. That society tells us you've got a man that provides for you, and you don't have to go work, and you get to take care of the kids, and you should be happy with your. We're told that should be enough. I don't know why I went to redneck. I don't know why I went to like stroke victim redneck, but I did. But we have this cultural paradigm set up that bare bones basic should be enough for us, especially as women. Like we're not really supposed to have these grand ambitions. It's changing, it's morphing. Thank God it is, because women have these amazing and beautiful contributions to make to the world. But we've got to understand that's a lot of unraveling to do socially, psychologically. You know, the paradigm is strong. That's okay. So when we get to that point, the very worst thing we can do for ourselves is begin to admonish ourselves and lay on a bunch of guilt for the bare bones basic not being enough. Women need enrichment. People need enrichment, but women need it in a different way and with faster results than men need it, which is why we seek out enriching relationships, which is why our friendships are so robust. Men, women, children, we can connect with a myriad of people from all walks of life much more naturally and with much greater ease, just because that's the way we're wired. And when we're engaging in that way, remember, we use more white matter, emotion and sensory, and we have a higher density in our hippocampus. So we're remembering all of these experiences, we're processing all of this. So not only are we reaching out, but we're making meaning out of this in our lives and for us personally, constantly. That's got to go somewhere. We've got to do something with that. So no wonder once we're once we're fed, sheltered, clothed, and watered, no wonder we're immediately going, okay, now what can I do with all this other stuff I gleaned in that time? I didn't just earn a paycheck. I didn't just pay my bills. I gleaned all this other stuff during the time that I was building those relationships, during the time that I was building that life. Now what do I get to do with that? It's natural. It's normal. And remember, my first phrase that you want to come to, the first practice that you want to come to anytime you start self-shaming, self-guilting, self-doubting, any of those things, is first come to grace with yourself. So the moment you start to feel like a spoiled brat, remember, it's natural, it's normal. For women especially, it's necessary. And understand that you are well within the rights. I don't even want to use the word rights. Well within the breadth of your spirit to expect more, to want more, to try to create more. It's what you're meant to do. And once we get to that point where our basic needs are met and we can begin to turn that attention to something deeper and more profound for ourselves, that's when we start to get those little nudges, those little inklings, little nigglings in the brain that say, purpose, passion, what's that thing for me? That's when life really begins to get robust and rich and bold and exciting. And why wouldn't we want that? And the more we engage in that for ourselves, the more we can deliver it to other people. Why wouldn't we do that? Why is that a selfish endeavor when we enrich ourselves to the point that we can begin to enrich others in a way that is more than just getting by, it pays the bills, right? When you work in your highest good, you work in the highest good every single time. So remember that. Have grace with yourself. Understand that everything that you do to fuel yourself and build yourself up gets you in a position to do that same thing for somebody else who needs it desperately because they're feeling guilty for being a spoiled brat because they ate this morning and it still wasn't good enough. Right? Okay. So your homework is to catch those thoughts when they come up, come to grace with yourself, and then begin to think about what is possible for you when you act, what is possible in the highest good when you act in your highest good. Think of that ripple effect. Think of that ahead of time so that you don't get stuck in this guilt place. And if you do get stuck, send me a message, see if I can help. Watch some previous videos, go to the blog. There's all kinds of tools and things that help you get unstuck, moving forward, living a rich, fulfilling, exciting, wonderful life. That's it. Go out there and create a wonderful week, everybody. I'll see you next Wednesday, 8:30 a.m. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, wherever I think I put it down here is where I've started to put it. But stay in touch with me. Let me know how you're doing. And I will see you next Wednesday. Goodbye, my lovelies. Bye. Oh no, now it's trying to draw. I can't pull the little screen down. Okay, oh, done. That's got to do it. Let's do that. There we go. Okay, bye.